Now, it falls on me to introduce tonight's motion. The motion before the House is that this House believes that the monarchy is nothing but a mere celebrity. Opening tonight's debate, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the only guy who challenges me for my fashion sense. Law student from Pembroke College, Joe Murray.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the incredible opportunity to speak in our historic chamber in tonight's debate. It truly is an honour. Monarchism can only be sustained if it is deemed legitimate. European monarchs in the Middle Ages turned to theology to justify their divine right to rule. When this became ineffective, monarchs sought alternative justifications. The favourites of the early modern period was nationalism and militarism. Empress Catherine the Great greatly expanded the Russian Empire. Meanwhile, Napoleon declared himself the Emperor of France and harnessed the momentum in the French Revolution to form his own nationalist monarchy. Yet the effects of monarch-sanctioned colonialism and subjugation were predictably unpopular. This inability to rebrand has left the world with 26 remaining monarchies. Monarchy's existence is dependent upon its legitimacy. Currently, such legitimacy is upheld by celebritization. The removal of monarchs' constitutional roles, alongside the rise of democracy and social media, has seen monarchs become mere celebrities. In support of the opposition tonight, I will argue three main points. Firstly, I will highlight how without the monarchy's transformation into celebrity, it would have become inviable. Secondly, I will argue that there is no fundamental differences other than purely theoretical historical archaisms to distinguish between a contemporary monarch and a celebrity. Thirdly, I will turn to the societal reality, whereby in the absence of absolutist monarchs, monarchs and celebrities are equals. However, before I substantiate my arguments, it gives me the great pleasure to introduce the speakers in opposition. First to speak for the opposition is a great friend of mine, Hannah Edwards. She came back from a debating contest in Vienna, and I'm sure she'll be a formidable speaker tonight. Yet I must say, I am unsurprised to see Hannah on the opposition bench. Given that Hannah went to a school named the King's School in Canterbury, are we surprised to see Hannah speaking in defence of king and country? Next, you will hear from the renowned royal commentator, Richard Fitzwilliams. Having worked for CNN, BBC, Sky, and countless more broadcasters, I'm glad someone has found a market in profiting from the monarchy's celebrity drama. Third speaking tonight is Count, and yes, I did say Count, Nikolai Tolstoy. As well as his work as a historian, he is the current Chancellor of the International Monarchist League and the head of the House of Tolstoy. In addition, Nikolai was a parliamentary candidate for the UK Independence Party. Hopefully his speech will be more persuasive than UKIP's drivel. Next, you'll hear from journalist, author, and royal commentator Angela Levin. Her book titled Harry, Conversations with the Prince is due to be released later this year. And given that Harry married a celebrity, I am eager to hear how she can support the opposition when writing the book on a prince who is the essence of monarchy being mere celebrity. Lastly is Robert Hardman, a journalist and documentarian with a focus on the royal family. Robert currently writes for the Daily Mail, a newspaper not so renowned for its objectivity and having an open-minded and inclusive readership. Thus, I sincerely hope for the members' sake that Robert's speech is nothing like an article in the Mail. Mr. President, these are your guests, and they are truly most welcome. I've already spoken a lot about legitimacy. This raises the question of why monarchy is so reliant upon it. The reality of monarchism is that it is the epitome of inequality. A society's unthinking acquiescence to the status quo facilitates royal prosperity to the detriment of all beyond palace walls. History is littered with examples. Tsar Nicholas II of Russia lived lavishly in the Winter Palace until the suppressed majority rose up in the February Revolution. Similarly, the Shanghai Revolution in China saw the collapse of China's final imperial dynasty after years of discontent. Monarchy is not conducive to effective governance. An inherited right to rule is one of the least effective tools to determine who ought to run a country. The sense of entitlement, which comes with a close connection to the monarchy, often manifests in being ill-suited to comprehensive policy creation. While Prince William was raised in Kensington Palace, most of Britain grappled with the 1980s hyperinflation and spiralling poverty rates. Royals may be able to sympathise with society's struggles, but they can never, ever truly understand them. Monarchy is synonymous with isolationism and classism. They only change out of pure necessity in order to retain their privilege over the rest of us. At its core, monarchy is an archaic means of organising society. It is the antithesis to meritocracy and economic equality. This inherent characteristic is why monarchs need to justify their continuing existence. A failure to do so will result in the collapse of monarchism. Precisely because of this structural impediment, if the monarchy had not embraced celebrity life, there would be no monarchy at all. Now that I have conveyed why monarchy was forced to become mere celebrity, I will show why there are no fundamental differences, despite the theoretical relics of history, to distinguish between a contemporary monarch and a celebrity. To demonstrate this, I'm going to use a hypothetical story. A royal child is likely born into a palace. Meanwhile, a celebrity's child, probably born into a lavish house in Kensington, Chelsea, or Manhattan. Both the royal and the celebrity's children will go to elite and exclusive private schools. Eton in Britain or Agilon College in Switzerland are top choices. From there, they will be catapulted into elite academia, such as Oxford or the Ivy League. Although, admittedly, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge did not meet either. They met at St. Andrews, but at least it's not Durham. When the royals and future celebrities socialise, they are already at the pinnacle of high society. Upon their graduation, the world truly is their oyster. The effect of celebrities' generational wealth can now challenge the wealth of monarchy, offering their next generations unparalleled opportunities. Paul McCartney is worth an estimated $1.2 billion, and Oprah Winfrey an even greater $3.5 billion, rejected. In contrast, Forbes estimates the Queen's personal net worth at around £380 million. Of course, this does not portray the true reality of the British monarchy's finances. Nevertheless, it does show that monarchies and celebrities are existent in a similar cycle whereby their entrenched privilege facilitates the same socioeconomic results and influence amounts. Yes, Paul McCartney cannot partake in the state opening of Parliament like the British monarch can. He could potentially watch the ceremony, following reports he's being considered for a peerage. Neither could a celebrity invite the leader of the victorious party in the general election to form a government in their name or grant royal assent to turn the bill into an act of parliament. However, the reality is these are only functions carried out because of a reluctance to diverge from tradition. Convention has it that the British monarch obeys the will of Parliament and the Prime Minister, so any depiction of meaningful royal power is fundamentally spurious. Compare this to the incredible campaign led by Manchester United and England footballer Marcus Rashford to raise awareness of child food hunger. The royals are more like celebrities than policymakers when it comes to their day-to-day operations. For example, 26% of the British royals' public engagements in 2019 were charities which they were patrons of. Yet even a recent analysis has shown that having a charity with royal patronage has no identifiable benefit, whether it be reputationally or financially. When removing the redundant historical relics from a monarch's portfolio, you are left with roles, primarily charity-related, that any celebrity could fulfill. In fact, they're rejected. And thus, when there is no striking distinction in the roles occupied by a celebrity and a monarch, it is difficult to refute the notion that monarchy is mere celebrity. My last point will focus on how society perceives monarchy and celebrity. A YouGov survey in the first quarter of this year found the most popular person in Britain was Sir David Attenborough, with a popularity rate of 84%. The Queen, despite being one of the most diligent and industrious monarchs the world has ever seen, and I'm sure the librarian is glad to hear me say that, was the 12th most popular, with a rating of 75%. When changing the generation survey to millennials, the Queen is the 69th most popular, with Benedict Cumberbatch ranking 9th. When the Queen is being compared among fellow celebrities, it surely shows the blurring of boundaries between a celebrity and a monarch. When the British royal family have an Instagram following of 10.7 million, and the monarchy's drama can be seen alongside Kim Kardashian on the front pages of The Sun and perhaps the Daily Mail, it surely illustrates that the monarchy is seen as celebrity. But the danger of such a blurring is that it conveys monarchy as socially achievable, when monarchy is premised upon social exclusionism. The sadness over the death of Princess Diana, the people's princess, illustrates the heartfelt connection that the public have developed towards some royals. The public have responded to a celebrity's tragedy in exactly the same way a countless number of times. Ultimately, both for celebrities and royals, any notion of emotional proximity is fallacious. They exist as the haves, and the rest of us the nots who exist beneath them. We live in an age devoid of deference. Few living under a monarchy today would say they believe a monarchy is superior. Neither would they say a celebrity is better than them. Well, that's because neither of them are. The only difference between a monarch and a celebrity today is that monarchism must continue to justify its existence. Royals have deemed celebrity the most favourable means to do so. Only time will tell whether they are correct. One thing is for certain, though. Monarchy is not what it used to be. Now, monarchy is mere celebrity. Thank you.